We are moving on to staring at the tree, and we are going to jump right into it. Chapter 1 Dig. Chapter 1 Dig. We all have someone that digs at us. That person, for me, was dug so deep that I forgot him. I forgot how much he nourishes my joy garden. He, at one time, was the devil himself. He was also a good guy that I really liked, and the older I get, the more I remember how much I liked him. Those memories of him being the devil himself are so small, too small that they don't mean anything to adult Stacy. They are so small that they are fading into the dark. The little things he may have done, they are so small they are fading into the dirt. Dirt is needed to grow. When you are sitting at the end of a season of labor, after the season of hard work, then you get to enjoy the fruitful returns. You sit and think about the time that you are crawling around on your knees in the dirt. And you think about how much you hated it. Then you get the harvest, the big bite into the harvest you thought would never grow. You stare at them every day, wishing them the best, hoping that working that dirt, the soil was worth the labor. Then you get the bite, the one when you know you're about to cry. Then you find that you finally did it. You finally got a damn tomato to grow right. Having spending years of working the soil, you got the fruitful return. When you get that first big bite, you knew that all that hard work was worth it, and nothing tastes better than something you earned from a hard season. Nothing is more satisfying than achieving your goal. Accomplishment of hard work, accomplishment of learning a skill, knowledge learned from chasing goals. That knowledge is yours to hold. That is sweeter than any amount of money. Built knowledge from a life of lessons. That knowledge will yield fruitful joy for years in the garden. Find pride in a job well done, building your pride on your own hard work. That will replant your joy garden. When you are on the other side of a hard season, the hard fades. You will learn from the hard, finding better ways of doing things. And over the years, you become smarter, making smarter decisions each year. Something I know for sure. I learned that not picking my old friend year after year of choosing wrong, I got sad, like sad. When the universe brought me my old friend, he was working his soil too. He felt like shit, I felt like shit, and neither one of us wanted to feel like shit anymore. That's what makes me so special. We have been sad since the basement. Those years ago when we were just a couple of kids. He was just sad, scared, and unsure as I was. In his pure intention of trying to spare his best buddy's feelings, he shattered my heart. Our Shakespearean love story here, me and my two amigos. And just a disclaimer, I struggle with this book like I do Staring at the Fire, so we're cutting this probably down to 20,000 from, or cutting like 100,000 words out of these things. It is a hard decision of which best friend you're going to hurt. However, I was his friend first, and in time we repaired our friendship. Time passed, and I quickly forget anything. I was upset about when I am at eye level. I was upset about when I'm at eye level with his Adam's apple, when he is smiling editing on that broadcasting computer, standing in door frames, standing anywhere, the walking. when he does the walking. That's nice. The talking, the sitting. Really, just a glance and a smile, and I forget about anything that I was mad about. He is unaffected by my theatrics. I could not be more in love with that. I can my imaginary love story with my buddy from high school. I knew that we would laugh about it one day. One day when everybody is on the correct medication. Oh, where were we? I can be a lot of human emotion for one person. My ex husband would be exhausted by the emotional roller coaster because you're undiagnosed paranoid schizophrenic, my sweetheart. My old friend just does not bite it. He gets popcorn and buckles in for the clicks on the coaster. That is exciting for me. That ha- I do not have to worry that someone is dissecting my words. Most of the time, I just ramble about that I do not have to worry about someone dissecting my words. 2020 was the year from hell for me. Everything that could go wrong did. I was getting fatter by the day, and my money felt like it had got set on fire before I even seen it. I was running in a circle of the same problems. The world shut down, and I knew what was about to happen. The healthcare system, the healthcare system was going to be ground zero for the systematic destruction of a nation. I might want to backspace that before. When I was a young girl, I fell in love with a boy from Sacramento, California. He had an older sister, and his room was messy. However, he was sweet and funny. He wore funny clothes, and his jokes were inappropriate and ill timed. However, he always saved the day. He wanted to marry a good Jewish girl, and I was 11 years old, and he may have only lived in my television, but I loved him the same. Shia LaBeouf played a middle school annoying little brother. He was Jewish, and I always felt he was my one true love. This launched my interest into the Holocaust. With wanting to be a good Jewish girl, I learned about Jewish history. As I got older and let go of the dream that Shia and I would work out, Jewish history stuck with me. In any assignment topic I got to pick, I picked the Holocaust. As an adult, I continued my hobby. People have had concerns. However, if you do not learn from history, you are in a position to repeat it, and in our case, be a victim of it. When the pandemic shut the world down, I went to work with a look of terror on my face. Everyone looked at me and said, "This is what you're talking about, wasn't it, Stace?" And I was just a funny girl warning everyone about the dangers of power and just trying to keep my nose down and mind my own business. And they did it. They shut the world down and they did it with ease. I'm trying to get the rest of my franchise to being publishable. That's what I'm working on because I know it's not anywhere publishable yet. That's why I'm just chipping away as at it on years. I call it my knitting because these books I just kind of threw together and I just was like, oh, word count, unless on like actual structure or anything. When you sit and think about how the life of iced coffees and direct deposits. The direct deposits just pay the bills to get to the meaningless job. Now that security that everyone had at the bottom of the iced coffee and hidden sadness, that security was about to be taken away. The illusion of security that we all had was shaking. It is amazing what an employer can do to you because they hold your income. The income that is fixed in the hire date, slowly creeping up 30 cents until death. When the world shut down, I was already super depressed. Now my worst fears are coming true. My jokes are trying to stay off the list. Seemed like just a joke. Now, what technology the Nazis would have loved, that kind is in every health system. This delusion is where I think, so all of these are delusions. Okay, I've been in a psychosis for 3 years. I feel like I just got out of like an underground bunker, and like multiple different Stacy's are like wrecking my plans. So I'm gonna probably pause on this, and we're gonna be done with the beginning of that, because I have a delusion that I'm not gonna write in this book, that I am like 65 years old and I'm a retired veteran, and all I do is talk about the Nazis and the Holocaust, and it gets a little on shaky ground, but it's really real for me. So, my paranoid schizophrenia, I have multiple personalities. I have multiple lives. So, it's not multiple personalities. I have multiple lives that I live within one Stacy. That's why my face changes and morphs differently. I shapeshift into my different people that I live. Each person has different ailments. Each person has different goals. When I'm on my proper medication, I'm Stacy every single day. Going, this is book 3, but a lot of this book was written in the very beginning. I have to cut these books because these are nothing but psychoses, but they're not all bad because I break through on good days and I write really good stuff. So I have to go through page by page by page by page. So bear with me on that, but I'm going to call that chapter 1 dig, because I'm just getting into my my veteran delusion that I got going on. And they're all called delusions. I'm still learning too, and I'm writing what I'm learning in the lessons. So the lesson of the tree, I haven't opened yet, and I'm going to be rewriting that entirely, and it's going to be, the lessons are going to be about my personal healing that I'm going to go through. But the lesson of the sun was about where I think healthcare can be, and then the rest of the book is like learning. I am the patient is kind of where I'm going with this. So it's a much better concept and much more publishable than my. These are my notes that I took in my psychosis. They're wild and crazy, and I can understand why this boy ran far, far away from me. But he's never far. He's always my good friend. He understands. That's all.